And now, the time fight fans all across the globe have been waiting for. It's the main card with your man, The Voice. As always, in the opposite corner, my mano y mano, my verbal sparring partner, none other than the Iron One, Wildress Ruffin. What's up, Ruff?
What's going on, Will? It's smoke o'clock, man. We're a little late for smoke o'clock, but it's smoke o'clock technical difficulties. It's all good, but it's fight night. We getting y'all prepared. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. You see the halo over his head? That's that Bruce Leroy glow. What's poppin', boys? How you feeling today?
Oh man, I am glad to be here. Glad to be talking fights. Just been fighting with everything today. So glad to not be fighting per se, but to be talking about them.
Definitely. Well, we got some great things to get into. KOs and low blows. We got some great fights also. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Ain't no need to wait. Now, Voice. I saw your Twitter. Canelo versus Ryder. I saw it. Then I saw the feedback from the fight fans. Now, as expected, Canelo did defeat John Ryder last Saturday, but it seems that many of his counterparts don't believe that the fighter that many saw as one of the best pound for pound fighters still has it. Now, with Canelo possibly setting his sights on Bivol, Voice, what are your thoughts on the aftermath of that bout and all the feedback that he received after also?
I understand why people may be a little down on Canelo. You know, he looked human, which he is, looked human against Bivol. And then he beat a old Triple G. So it's like, okay, yeah, he won, but that was an old Triple G. Now you're fighting your mandatory fight. And you're dominant, but you don't get rid of him, which is what most people, present company included, thought would happen and really wanted to happen, because I was watching this and the UFC fight at the same time. Salute to Dave and Buster's for hooking that up. But I was expecting him to get him out of there. It's like, okay, why are you playing around with him? Get him out of there. He dropped him twice. Why couldn't he get rid of him? This doesn't seem like the Canelo of old, even going back as far, or I should say, in as recent history as when he fought Caleb Plant. He dispatched Caleb Plant, something that David Benavidez couldn't do, and something that I don't think anyone did before that. But you can't get rid of John Ryder. So that has a lot of people saying he may not have it all anymore, and he may not. He's been fighting for like 20 years now, so things should be, starting to slow down a bit. So that may be the case. I don't know. I mean, I see how people or I should say, I understand why people are saying the things they're saying. For him to say, "Hey, I want to fight Bivol again," seems kind of like, do you really want to do that right now? Is that who you really want to fight? But he's saying, "I want to fight him again. I want to fight him again in 175." That pride, that machismo, is getting the best of him, because he really doesn't need to fight Bivol. And Bivol has said, "Look, I don't want to fight unless it's at unless it is at unless it's at 168. That's the only time he wants to fight him." So yeah. Okay. Looks like we may be having more technical difficulties. So Will, Driss, can you give us something?
Yeah, I mean, that stuff, it's going to be a big fight either way.
Cool. It's going to be a huge fight. It's going to be something that I'm definitely looking forward to, and we're going to get it in. Let's go on to the next subject, which is UFC 288. Aljamain Sterling, the most polarized, wasn't not even polarized. Most people hate him. One of the most hated champions in UFC history, gives the people more reason to hate on him by winning once again, kind of like with Canelo beating somebody who uh, was on the older side. But hey, my man Triple C really made a good showing of himself, being out for as long as he was out and coming in and being as competitive as he was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely excellent. So I was glad to see him do his thing. Aljo pulled it out, which he should have. If one judge had not given him the fifth round, which Aljo did not win, but had he not done that, he wouldn't have won the fight. So it all worked out. Now, what's next is the is oh boy, what is his name? Sean O'Malley. That's it. Sugar Sean O'Malley. That's who's up next. And man, uh that was a dumpster fire. Having him in the cage right after the fight. But Marab stole the show by taking his jacket, putting on his jacket, just standing there like, "Ha, ha! I got your jacket on. I got your jacket on. You don't even know I have your jacket on." And he climbed up on the top of the cage, was waving in his jacket, just pumping himself up. And by the time he started taking his jacket off, then O'Malley was like, "Hey, hey, you got my jacket?" I was like, "Dude, I'm taking it off. Calm down. You Rainbow Bright, just chill. You didn't even know that I had it." And I'm literally taking it off. You got my jacket. Yeah. Don't you see me taking it off? I had some fun. I just stood right beside you with it on, you big dummy, and you didn't see anything. So that definitely is adding fuel to the fire for that fight. That's going to be a very interesting fight. I don't know that I'm looking forward to the build up to that fight because I can see things getting really ugly. But the fight itself should be a good fight. And that's the kind of fight that if Aljo is victorious, can win him some fans and then possibly win over the fans if he defeats him soundly and there's no controversy, because that's been the issue. Many of Aljo's wins have had just a hint of controversy. They haven't been really clean wins.
Yeah, I mean, he admitted that fifth round that he really didn't come out and do everything that he was supposed to do. I think what was interesting was after the bout, a couple people was asking Triple C, like, you were the hitman that's supposed to come back. What's next? So I'm interested to see. I mean, he's come out of retirement. He's been training people for the last 3 years in retirement, so it's not like he hasn't been active. So while we know where Aljamain is going, where does he go next?
Where does Triple C go next?
Yeah.
If he stays around, you see Marab over his over his shoulder right there. That's really where he should go next. If I can't beat the champ, then let me beat the champ's next man up. Let me beat the one who he is crowning as the champ once he leaves the division. He should fight Marab. Oh man, yeah. That will really show where both of them are. If Cejudo can be victorious over Marab, then he can probably beat the other 135ers out there. And really, that could be for like a interim title. At the very least, it should be on that same card where Aljo fights Sugar Sean O'Malley.
Okay, well, I mean, is that definitely UFC 288? I think was what many expected. I know most were expecting Gilbert Burns to come out with that win. I think I was a little surprised with that. I know that he's actually going to be out indefinitely, and of course, the Jessica Andrade loss that was a complete shocker. So what happens with Jessica moving forward? Because most didn't expect for her to take that loss in the way that she did.
Man, I don't know what happens with Jessica because she just dropped back down to strawweight from having mixed results at flyweight. I mean, she fought for the title, she lost. Now she's coming back down again. You already lost to the champion, Jean Wei Li. Now you just lost to the person who's going to fight the champion in Yan Xiaonan. I don't know. You maybe fight Tatiana Suarez and lose to her too, so she's on her way up, or maybe knock her out of the picture. I don't know, but it's just she's not had a good run as of late.
That's definitely the interesting thing about UFC. You never know what you're going to get. And like we always say, it only takes one hit to put you on the canvas, and that's it.
Yeah, it does help when you run into
it. Boys, I appreciate you for KOs and low blows. Now, we're going to take a quick Ozell break. When we come back, we got some KSI news for y'all because we know y'all been waiting for that. Also, we're going to get into Janibek getting back into the ring, probably not against who you thought that he would. Musasi versus Edwards, and also my man Rosenstruck. I don't know why he's my man, but his media is always fun for me to watch. We'll be right back.
It's not just about the love of the game. It's about dedication and commitment through the process and the patience to endure. There's joy in reaching your goals and peace in knowing you've done all you're supposed to do. Ozell brand. It's not just a brand, it's a lifestyle.
That Ozell brand. If you ain't got your Ozells yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. If y'all ain't seen Voice's video rocking his Ozells and strutting around in the black and blues, you got to make sure he sends that to you, because Ozell, there's some beautiful shoes and the colorways are amazing. So make sure you get your pair of those. Now, Voice, let's get into it. I know how you feel about influencer boxing, but the people want to see it and make them go crazy. Now, and what began with Joe Fornier calling out KSI and the Paul brothers for not fighting real boxers, he's now going to get his chance to validate his claims when he'll face the YouTuber turned fighter when he meets KSI this Saturday at Wembley Arena in London, England. Now, Fournier was actually recently a guest on the Jake Paul podcast and stated that what he expects from the bout with KSI. Now, he stated he's just going to have a lot of rounds of just getting beat up. Like, that's my plan. This is what I like, and I'm just going to have a lot of rounds of really hurting you. And yeah, I hope you cry. I want to see you cry and stall. I just hope he comes to the fight for real, and I don't know if he'll actually show up. Now, for KSI, who, I mean, depending on how you see it, he is undefeated. He sees this as a major opportunity to not only prove himself, but become the top billing in what is being called, what Voice hates, influencer boxing. Now, he points to Jake Paul's recent loss to Tommy Fury as major pressure. He stated he's put a kind of a target on himself to prove himself. He said, when it comes to Jake Paul, obviously I don't like the guy. So when he lost, you saw me make a video laughing at him, etc. But I know there's a lot of pressure on me now. I put the pressure on myself, especially doing something like that. There's going to be eyes watching. People who love me, people who hate me, they're going to be watching to see if that same outcome happens. And I want to be the person to make sure it doesn't. People forget I'm a YouTuber that just fell in love with boxing and just worked at it. And now here I am, fighting a 9-0 pro, and it's pretty mad how my life has just come together. I truly do believe in myself, and I have this dog in me that really does not want to lose. And even if I'm on my back foot, even if I'm getting pieced up, I'm gonna find something within you to keep going, and I'll go down on my shield. He said, I'm not a guy that's just here to play around and be like, maybe I lost, but I'll make sure I don't get knocked out. Nah, I'm here to win. Now, Voice, influencer boxing seems to be something that's growing, and a lot of these fighters are looking to make themselves serious. Would a win by KSI over Fournier raise his credibility in the sport, despite the fact that Fournier has only fought 9 bouts, and I believe he literally lost an exhibition to David Hayes recently?
Now, as far as raising credibility, yes, it will raise KSI's credibility. Number one, he's fighting a real boxer in just a handful of fights, much sooner than the person he is patterning his career after, which is funny because really KSI And Logan are the ones that kicked off this whole influential boxing thing. Did it on YouTube and did 10 million, and everybody's like, "Hey, there's some money to be made here." They did it again the second time on the Zone, did big numbers for that, but Jake has kind of taken off. So he he may be on his Nate Diaz. Salute to Nate, who's fighting Jake, and had a press conference recently. But he was like, you're trying to take everything I work for. Now, KSI is not only a fighter but a promoter, and I think he's had what you said was good, but he's had a little more of his promoter hat on than anything, because all he's been talking about is fighting Tommy Fury or fighting Jake Paul, and it's like, dude, you got a for real fighter in front of you. He's undefeated. Not only is he undefeated in boxing, but he's also knocked out everybody that he's ever beaten. The only person that he may not have knocked out was the one fight that was a no contest. But of the 9 official fights that he has 9 knockouts. You need to be very, very cautious and careful and mindful of the person that's ahead of you. Salute to him for taking on this fight. Because that's one thing. He was like, I'm really trying to go out here and do it. This shows he's going out here and doing it. So I give him a lot of credit for stepping up to the plate like this, because he could have taken much easier touches and kept winning. I mean, I don't know if it was his last fight or fight before last, he fought 2 people and knocked both of them out. So salute to him for doing this. I know Fornier has not done a lot in recent history. Like the last time he fought was 2 years ago, and the majority of his fights are between 2015 and 2016. But he's a real fighter, and you facing this real fighter who is preparing for this. This is his Super Bowl. This is his title fight. That's major. Salute to KSI for taking on the challenge. We'll see if it pays dividends or not.
It's definitely going to be interesting because, like you said, whether you like it or not, Fornier is a boxer, and some of that same criticism about Fournier's fights, people said the same thing about Tommy Fury. So with Tommy Fury coming out to win, it would bring him to question the validity of the influencers. And you stated about him being a promoter. He did actually start, was it the Misfit boxing promotion with the Wasserman promotion? So he's definitely out here doing his thing, trying to show people that he is for real. So it'll be interesting to see. Definitely looking forward to it, and literally seeing the outcome of it, and very interestingly waiting to see what the Paul brothers' response is after the bout, because that always sets off fireworks.
Well, the brothers shouldn't be too much of an issue. KSI's in business with Logan. They got Prime energy drink, which is in the UFC right now. That's their official energy drink. So I don't think we'll hear too much from Logan. Jake, that's another story.
Yeah, KSI was also at WrestleMania. They had that huge WrestleMania moment where he jumped off the turnbuckle, and KSI was in a Prime bottle, which was weird.
Well, another company that their drink is promoted by.
Definitely. Now, let's move on to Janibek, who's returning to the ring finally. Now, since winning that vacant WBO interim middleweight title last May, he's gone from interim champ to being elevated to full champ. His last fight defeating Denzel Bentley by unanimous decision. Now, many wanted to see him next face Liam Smith for that title, but the undefeated Janibek is going to be facing Stephen Butler. Now, you may not know Stephen Butler, but he is 32-3. This is going to be happening Saturday at the Stockton Arena in Stockton, California. It's being called by many a bare middleweight division now, with not too many challenges available. I mean, if you think about it, Janibek has watched multiple title fights fall apart before the pen even went to paper. For Butler, this is the ultimate opportunity that he's been waiting for. He actually enters this fight having won his past 4, but this is only after being knocked out back-to-back in 5th round losses. So many people feel as though his 32-3 record is a bit of a facade. Many feel like the bout is a foregone conclusion because if you take a look at the lines, Butler comes in as a very heavy underdog, but he
Yes.
sees it as a major opportunity. He stated, "My goal was always to become world champion. When I fought Ryota Murata, it was the same reason to be the champion. I need to beat this guy, and I got no choice but to accept the fight and go for it." Now, many are hoping that after this bout, the middleweight division can possibly pick up and we can see Janibek fight some of the big fighters that they were hoping to see. Now, voice, the middleweight division seems bare, so to speak, from people vacating titles to people moving on and moving up and moving down. Even Butler had to make a move to this division in order for this fight to take place. What are your thoughts on the current state of the middleweight division, and who do you really want to see Janibek fight next?
As far as the current state of the middleweight division, we're looking at it. The state of the middleweight division is Janibek and whoever Janibek is fighting, because he is the only one really out here in the middleweight division that's fighting. Triple G vacated belts. Charlo, God only knows when he's gonna fight. He hurt his pinky toe and doesn't fight. Or somebody hurt his feelings and he doesn't fight. Andrade, that would have been a great fight. Boo Boo Andrade. Oh, I was when he fought for the interim title, Janibek. I was like, oh, him versus Boo Boo, that'd be great because Boo Boo's been trying to get a fight for a long time. Then he vacates and moves on. It's like, who do you have? There was even a title fight made for them, and that didn't come through. But there was also a title fight made being made with Jaime Munguia, and that fell through. So Janibek is the future and the present of the division because he's the only one that's fighting. So it's him and whoever he's fighting. Now, as far as Butler is concerned, I salute him for doing everything that he's done, and he believes he has a puncher's chance, which he does. With knocking out 72% of the people that he's fought, the Canadian definitely has a puncher's chance. And he believes that with this power, he can take out anyone. So salute to him, kudos, and glad that he's in here making this fight. He's a risk taker. He's like, I don't understand why all these people are so concerned about their O's and concerned about losing. Fight. And even though being a professional fighter, you have to have a certain kind of mentality that most people don't have, at least in today's age of boxing. Most of them are extremely risk averse when it comes to testing themselves, which is at the core of martial arts. I want to test my skills against the very best to see who's the best, and may the best man win. Not may the man keep their record undefeated, but may the best man win.
Now, what's interesting, you made some really great points. Even when Butler got the offer, no one actually was fully ready to accept it until he actually moved within the top 15. And I think it took him those 4 fights to actually get there. Now, we always talk about everyone having a puncher's chance. And, of course, you have the Rocky thought process. But I guess my question to you is, why have so many of these major fights in the middleweight division fallen apart like they have? I mean, is it more with Janibek's people, or is it something with the middleweight division as a whole that's causing these issues?
The issue that the middleweight division has is the same issue that boxing as a whole has. Everyone is so protective of their records. They won't take a fight if they don't think they can win. That's really the issue, is that the best don't fight the best because the best are too busy fighting other people trying to maintain this aura of invincibility, this aura of not being able to be beat. But we don't know whether or not what you're portraying is true because you won't fight anybody for us to find that out. This is why, a part of the reason why Tank and Ryan did so well, because finally we had 2 people that we want to see fighting each other. Two popular people actually fighting each other in the ring instead of fighting on social media.
You're definitely right there, and it did numbers. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward because I want to see the days of boxing where I was looking forward to seeing the top fighters in every division constantly go at it, no fear. I personally feel like social media and the media as a whole has also played into this because now people fear embarrassment. But you're getting into the ring every time with the possibility that one punch is going to be it. So shout out to Butler for getting into the ring. Janibek is undefeated with 8 of those wins actually coming by knockout. He's only fought 13 times professionally, so that'll be interesting. Now, moving on to Bellator. When Gegard Mousasi meets Fabian Edwards in the middleweight title eliminator at Bellator Paris on May 12th, Fabian stated he is looking to fight the most flawless bout of his life at the expense of Dreamcatcher. Now, after hearing Gegard state that Edwards' ground game is a weakness, Fabian not only is looking to expose his opponent, but in his words, he wants to dominate him and most likely by stoppage. He stated first, it makes me think he knows his my striking is better than his. He knows in that area I'm the cleaner striker, and he will see. After the fight, I'll ask him, how did that feel? Are you impressed? I'll ask him all these questions, and I'll look forward to seeing his answers to it. I only see myself stopping him or see myself 5 rounds of just a clean performance from outmaneuvering and outstriking him and just going away with my hand raised, coming out of the fight clean. Now, if you had a chance to see Gegard talk about Fabian, he hasn't spoken highly of Edwards, and he's even called his footwork everything from sloppy to just a plain mess. Now, he comes into this eliminator with one goal in mind, and that's making one last run at the world title, and Fabian is his first test. When asked about possible retirement, he said, I only want to try one more time. If I beat him, I'm going to fight for the belt, and that's going to be it probably. But I'm not looking too far ahead, and nowadays, I don't look much further than one fight ahead because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I could get a serious injury. I could lose the desire. So at this moment, I don't think about it. So I want to go in one more time because I think that the Johnny Eblen bout, I didn't fight the way that I should have. I have 4 fights on my contract, but at the end of this year, that contract will expire and I'll probably get an extension or something or walk away. Voice, both of these fighters are literally coming into this with different mindsets. It seems like Fabian is looking to destroy Gegard, and Gegard is literally looking to go out on top. What are your thoughts on this bout, and what are your thoughts on literally the back and forth and how they see each other? Is it possible that what Fabian is saying is true and that Gegard is possibly making himself a weakness by exposing his thoughts on this?
I mean, there's always a potential for danger when you share what your game plan is, because now the person that you're game planning against knows what's coming. However, if Fabian Edwards didn't know that Gegard was going to try to take him down, shame on him. It's known that Fabian's strength is his striking. That is a well-documented thing. And let's not forget, Fabian has lost twice. Once to title challenger Austin Vanderford. What's his strength? Wrestling. Who else did he lose to? Costello Van Stennis. Who's that? Gegard's protege. So it's not like they haven't game plan for this guy before. Again, if he thought, you saying you're gonna get it to the ground, that's weak. It's not weak. That's actually gangster. If I tell you how I'm gonna beat you, and I come in and I execute that, and you can't stop me, come on. So to me, it sounds more like Fabian saying things to kind of pump himself up, because for real, that's gangster. If you tell somebody like Aljamain said regarding I want to call him Rainbow Bright, but that's not nice. but I can't think of his name. Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley. You know, he said, "Look, I'm a wrestler. I'm going to backpack him and get him to the ground, and that's how I'm going to beat him." Okay, now you know what I'm going to do. Stop me. That is the name of the fight game. This is my approach. Stop me. You bad enough to do it? Show me. That's the essence of martial arts. So for Gegard to say it, that's great. And Gegard is being really, really honest. Both of them, I think, are being honest in their opinions of each other and their thoughts regarding the fight as a whole. Gegard is 38. He's been fighting for 20 years, like exactly 20 years. This is his first fight since losing the title almost a year ago. That's a while off. And he seemingly got old overnight in that fight against Evelyn. Talked about how long he's been fighting. This is his 60th fight. This fight will be the 60th time that he has entered the ring, the cage, the fighting arena to apply his skills. He's still number 10 in Bellator's pound for pound, though. So this really is going to be it for him. Will he go out with a roar or a whimper? He wants to roar. He wants Evelyn again, you know, where, you know, we've already talked about Edwards. Edwards, one of his greatest claims to fame is that Leon is his brother. But if he wants to hold gold the way that his brother is holding gold, then he's got to be one of the best ever at this weight class. Let's not sleep on Gegard's legend. This man has won the title in every single organization he's been in, with the exception of the UFC. And he would have won that title if he had stayed around a little bit longer.
I'm in watching a lot of the media rounds. It seems like Gegard was really taken aback by that loss to Evelyn, which it like you said, it feels like maybe he did get old. Maybe maybe it took a lot out of him in the end. But I feel like it's one of those things where like he's on a revenge tour, and Johnny is the last stop. So that'll be interesting to see. Now his last 5, he's literally 4-1 with that lone loss coming to Johnny at Bellator 282. So that would be interesting. Back to Crispy's.
Let's entertain Crispy.
The world heavyweight champ.
Go ahead.
I'm disappointed, Crispy, because I thought Damian Priest should have gotten the opportunity after his bout with Bad Bunny. But now I'm interested to see how it plays out. Cody Rhodes is out, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, hold on. Let me share. Let me share who I think is going to win. Saudi Arabia and the fans. That's who's going to win. Because Saudi Arabia is making their money. The fans are enjoying the bout. They're enjoying everything. That's who's going to win. Whoever actually walks out with the belt, it matters to them because it does impact their money. But I mean, come on, this is.
I feel like you're only saying that because you're not familiar with anybody in the bout, but that's okay. I got my.
I'm not. I have no idea who's wrestling. I don't care. It's wrestling. It's just like, ooh, I wonder how the newest Spider-Man movie is going to turn out. I look forward to seeing it. I know Spider-Man's going to win. So there's not really.
But you don't know Spider-Man's going to win.
Okay, you're right. I don't know if he's going to win. If he loses, though, then that means the next movie that they make is going to be even greater because then he's going to have to overcome that loss and win.
Not really, because sometimes heroes just die, voice.
That they do, but they only die winning.
Hey, voice, your argument is
Tony Stark would snap.
Don't keep coming after my professional wrestling voice, okay?
Talk to your mans. Every time you bring in wrestling, it is real. I didn't say it was real. I just said it's scripted.
We're gonna move into the next bout, which is by the UFC, which is also owned by the same company who owns WWE. So technically, they're one and the same.
No,
now
not.
On May 13th at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, 2 major heavyweights are going to be coming together to meet for top billing. Literally, my favorite name in professional combat sports. Mm-hmm. Biggie Boy My man Rosenstruck is going to be meeting Rising Star Almeida. And if Biggie has his way, that star is going to be faded when he's finished. Now, Alameda is undefeated in UFC and has not taken a professional loss overall since the 2018 decision defeat. Now, Biggie Boy recently stated, we have two different styles, but we're going to leave that for May 13th. It's definitely going to be a good one. I think if you're finishing guys, it's something big and it's promising. But now you got to face me. And I'm a different type of guy than all the other guys he's faced. I think this is a big test for him. I got nothing to show him but put him away and make sure I'm looking forward. I heard some of his interviews and some of the things that he said, and he thinks he's going to be that kind of, it's going to be kind of easy. And I don't know about that, but I'm training hard and I'll definitely be ready. Now, since running off knockouts in his first four major bouts in UFC, Biggie Boy has leveled off majorly, having gone three or four actually in his last seven, with two of those losses coming by knockout. Almeida, meanwhile, is a winner of 13 straight, with each win coming by submission or TKO. So a win by Biggie could be big for his confidence and future ranking implications. So, Voice, I want to get your thoughts on the statements that Biggie Boy made as far as him being different and them coming into it, and his plans literally to knock the star out that Alameda is.
Now, as far as Rosenstruck being different, he is different because no two people are alike. I'll say, and if you rewind things, you'll see me smirk when he said, you know, I'm not like everybody that you've been in there with. And it made me think of The Real World. I forget what season it was and old boy's name, but he had that song where he remade one of Frank Sinatra songs and was like, come and be my baby tonight instead of look being a lady tonight. And say, I'm nothing like all them other thugs you've been with. Come and be my baby tonight. It's like, number one, you are not a thug. And number two, this is the dumbest song in the world. And when you say I'm nothing like the other guys, you know, you've been in there with, I was thinking, yeah, I'm nothing like all them other thugs you've been with. So it's whatever. Let me say this though about Rosenstruck. Let me put some respect on his name because the man is a beast. He talked about their different styles and that Almeida is more of a ground specialist and a submission guy. I mean, even the wins that he's had in the UFC, they've all been by stoppage. Like of his 18 wins overall, all of them have been by stoppage. If he's won, it's been because he stopped him. Most of them been by submission, 11, and then 7 of them being by KO, 2 of which being in his UFC run where they were ground and pound stoppages. So again, even when he's knocking you out in a position where you're down on the ground. So yeah, he's going to be looking to take him down. Rosenstruck, who is a kickboxer, that is his martial art. That's what he started doing first before he started doing mixed martial arts. Obviously, he wants to keep it standing and use his skills there, you know, striking with Almeida. It's going to be really interesting because Rosenstruck is really fighting for his UFC career. He's 2-3 in his last 5 fights. And, you know, if he loses here, that's going to make it kind of difficult. Now, granted, the UFC is looking to hold on to as many heavyweights as they can because any notable heavyweight that they let go is a possible opponent for Francis Ngannou. So there's a long game that they're playing there as well. And Rosenstruck, though, again, losing to the last 3, he can still headline your fight night card, which is something that they need. And so he's really at a crossroads here, though, as a gatekeeper. And Almeida, we're going to find out if he's for real. Yes, you've done all these wonderful things, but now you're going in there with someone, you know, who's been in with the likes of Francis Ngannou, has been in with, you know, your Cyril Gans and your other notable fighters. how are you going to do? Yeah, you're employing a ground game. I told you, Rosenstruck is from ATT. You know who one of his main coaches is? Mola Wall, whose background is wrestling. Now, I don't know how this was going to work out. Oh, ooh. I don't know if Mo's going to be there or where he's going to be. Because, no, he's fine. He's fine. I was thinking he also is in Evelyn's corner. Evelyn is in Paris, but Evelyn ain't fighting, so he'll be okay. Yeah, so Rosenstruck knows how to defend takedowns, but how good is he at doing it? He's got the right people in his camp to help him with it, but that's really going to be tested. It's going to be a grappler versus striker, and we will see whose game reigns supreme when the pin locks. I mean, the pin drops, the cage door locks, the thumbs go up, and they start the clock.
Yeah, you made a great point. I think many people are seeing this as a afterthought for Almeida, but people forget um, Biggie is no slouch. He actually still holds the record for second fastest knockout in the heavyweight division, which he did against Alan Crowder. Now, the one thing that we do need to talk about is that Almeida has not faced the canvas since 2017, and that was in his fourth professional fight. And that's the only time in his career he's ever touched the canvas. So it's going to be interesting to see because, like you said, I mean, he's fighting for his UFC career at this point, having gone 3 or 4 in his last fight, in his last 7, with 2 of those being knockouts. So that's definitely going to be a great bout. Make sure that
not forget this about Biggie Boy too. All but one of his wins have come by knockout. So it's going to be a substantial challenge for Almeida and possibly the saving grace of Biggie Boy.
Definitely. That gives you something to look forward to this weekend. We've gotten you prepared for the biggest bouts this weekend. Make sure that you also tune into Twitter and follow my man The Voice because you know he's going to give you everything he got and every thought, whether it's respectful or disrespectful or what. He also scores a lot of those bouts also. So that's going to be great this weekend. We appreciate you all. Thank you again for tuning in. The main card every Tuesday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Smoke O'Clock. MTMV Sports. We are you. We are the fans. We do the work. We got everything that you're looking for: basketball, football, even some pop culture. If you get a chance to tune in and catch some of what we're talking about, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you also check us out on all of your favorite podcasts. Voice, give us your last words, sir.
On that card in Paris, you also have the quarterfinals for the lightweight Grand Prix with Bellator, and they did the right thing. They brought in former champ Brent Premise to fight against Barnaby. That is going to be a really, really good fight. If we had time, that would have been the Voices marquee matchup because Premise is a former champ, knows how to fight, is looking to reclaim that title. And Barnaby, they're fighting in France, the place where he's from. And he has looked really, really promising for Bellator in the lightweight division. So that's going to be a phenomenal fight to keep your eyes on. Also on that Janibek Butler card, Robinson KSI is going to be fighting, as well as Jason Maloney will be in action fighting for a title. Then that night, or I should say Saturday night, Rolando, he said, don't call me Rolly anymore. Rolando Romero will be facing off against Ismael Barroso. So, got a lot of other fights out there this weekend to tune into, just not enough time to cover them all.
A full slate of combat sports bouts this weekend. Voice, tell them where they can follow you at and make sure that they keep in touch with you so they can follow and get those updates.
It's The Voice on everything. THA, V is in Victor, O, Y is in Yankee, Z is in Zulu, E is in Echo. That's on all of the social media platforms that I'm on. Not on TikTok, so you won't find me there, or on Snap, but I do most of my work on Twitter. So get at me, follow me. talk to me. I love talking about the fights as they're going on, getting your opinions on how things are going.
Definitely. Make sure you follow me at Mr. Teddy Farrell on all accounts. And MTMV Sports, we are also on TikTok, dropping some great commentary and reels every other day. Voice, take us out.
Hey, we love fighting here, and we're grateful that you came. But the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. So until next time, fight the good fight.